What's up, culture makers? I'm Anissa.
And I'm Caitlin. And today we're going to be talking about violent Instagram content. We're also going to be talking about OBX Season 3.
Let's go.
And we'll get into TikTok setting limits on how long we can watch. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's do it.
So today we're talking about violence. The Washington Post reported that Instagram has been putting these violent reels on these popular meme accounts, and that's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, I think that what I was reading about that was like they're doing it to try to compete with TikTok.
Oh, okay.
They want to boost engagement on reels specifically to try and keep up with the ever increasing use of TikTok.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, that has kind of created this willingness to just post this crazy stuff just for the sake of getting people to engage with it. Because even if someone like me were to see something like that, there would be the temptation to investigate further. Right? To be like, why did I just see this in my feed? Oh my gosh, how do I make sure I never see this again? And you end up following the thread that they want you to follow.
You just go down a rabbit hole with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, how can we start to kind of guard ourselves against that? Because it seems like they do it as a surprise on purpose to catch our attention.
Yeah.
And so something that I have been thinking about in regards to this is how can I have a plan in place so that as soon as something like that kind of tries to grab my attention, I already know what I'm gonna do.
Right, that's smart, that's super smart. And I also feel like we should ask the question, why are we going to watch it in the first place? What is our heart posture when engaging with this type of content? Are we doing it because it is interesting, it's something that we have never seen before and we're curious? I think curiosity can get the best of us sometimes, and that's when it kind of leads us down this rabbit hole.
That's so true. I think in a lot of cases, curiosity is awesome.
Right.
Curiosity leads me to this posture of humility where I'm like, wait a second, maybe I don't actually know everything.
Right.
And I start to ask more questions, get interested in other people and their story and things like that. But when it comes to the flavor of curiosity that gets us to I just need to watch for a couple more seconds. I just need to see what happens.
Right.
I think that there's that subtle shift that we can kind of be aware of in our posture, like you were talking about.
Yeah. I just think back to when the whole Jeffrey Dahmer TV series came out and everyone was watching it, and I was like, is this something that I'm interested in? Sure. I have a background of criminology, psychology. I love my true crime episodes, but it can be definitely different when they're kind of glamorizing that type of stuff for entertainment.
Wow.
And I think that's where I had to catch myself when things did start getting violent and things did start getting gory. I'd ask myself, is this something that I really want to engage in and allow my mind to be transformed by the things that I'm watching?
I think you just hit the nail on the head right there, because the content we consume shapes the people that we become.
For sure.
And so when we let our curiosity and our imagination get formed by this certain type of content that we're watching, that's what ends up getting projected out into our lives. For me, I think an example of this would be in a similar vein to you. I think that crime shows are really cool and really interesting. I had to stop watching Criminal Minds though.
Oh, shoot.
I started to consume it, and it was just it was shaping the way that I looked at the world with such a negative lens. I was just oh man, why am I so angry all the time?
Yeah.
Why am I just why am I like this? And even though the show, they always catch the bad guy, you know that that's gonna happen, but it's just the repeated narrative of there's another one. And there's another one, and there's another one that was just making me really cynical in the way that I looked at the world.
I just think back to what the Bible tells us in Proverbs 4, how we should guard our heart above all else, for it determines the course of our life. And you just hit it right on the head of, if I watch something, that's going to be a reflection on how I am living, how I'm thinking, everything.
So real. So if for our friends who are watching, what can they do when they start to feel that sense of curiosity? Are there any questions that they can maybe ask themselves, like a thought process that we can filter stuff through to like know if we should engage or avoid?
Ask yourself why you're watching it in the first place. What is my heart posture towards this video that I'm engaging? Is it going to be leading me in one direction that is full of life and I'm, you know, becoming closer towards Jesus because of what I'm engaging in, or is it leading me in the opposite direction? Again, asking the question of, okay, should I be setting up these boundaries in place so I don't have to engage in these types of videos?
Yeah, I think that that's a huge point, is like being willing to ask for help. I know for me, like, again, when I realized this about myself with Criminal Minds, one of the first things that I did was tell one of my best friends at the time and tell my mom. I was like, all right, here's the deal. I've been watching this show. I feel like I've become an increasingly angrier person, which I already have a Hulk mode that I'm surrendering to the Lord Jesus Christ. So it was just like a bad combo. And I was like, guys, I've been watching this show, noticing this about myself. So I've decided, like, I don't want to watch this anymore. You're allowed to ask me at any point in time, like, hey, how's that going? Have you wanted to watch it? How have you handled that? Have you watched it? Okay, let's talk about that. Like, and just like giving them permission to ask me those hard questions that I don't necessarily want them to ask me, but has helped me kind of stay within the thing that I set up for myself. Like you said, it shapes the people that we become. For sure. And that has helped me become somebody who is more patient, who looks at the world and looks at people with more of the lens that I believe that Jesus looks at them. Yeah. And so it's worth it to me to like keep those boundaries in place and have those people asking me those hard questions. Absolutely. Because I see the fruit in my life. Yeah. A friend once told me that accountability is not a sign of weakness, it's actually a sign of wisdom. Come on. Come on! I think that this applies, like the last thing I'll say about this, I think that this applies to more than just like violent content. Oh, for sure. I think if you are struggling with anything like porn or like sexual content or again violent content or just content that you see like making you a more fearful person, like making you more anxious or afraid or stressed out or depressed, like this applies across the board. And so be willing to ask yourself those questions. Where do you see your imagination being formed or shaped in a way that doesn't necessarily lead to you becoming the kind of person that you want to become? And who can you invite in to help you ask yourself some of those better questions and keep the boundaries that you want in place so that you can be all God made you to be? Yeah, that's good. So speaking of things that we watch, we're getting into it. I don't think they're ready. So OBX, Outer Banks, season 3. We've been waiting. And I know multiple people who have binged and watched the entire thing already. Now, Caitlin, have you seen any of the Outer Banks series? I'm just going to go ahead and confess that I have not. Oh. Listen, Anissa, you still have time. I grew up going to the Outer Banks. Okay. So I'm super familiar with like the setting and the scene and everything. I have Outer Banks like sweatshirts and stuff, and I can't tell you how many people who have come up to me and go, oh, like the show. I'm like, no, my gosh, like travel a little bit, like go places. But no, this show is phenomenal. I will say I have been one of those people that have binge watched the whole entire show. So let me lay it out for you. Have you seen National Treasure? Yes. Okay, so think of that, but in the Outer Banks. Think of that. There are these teenagers who all hang together. It's like the kooks who are the really. You're not telling me. No. And then the pogues live in the Outer Banks. They live in the rough style. Yeah. The pogues finding this treasure. One of the main characters, his name is John B., who like. But I will tell you, Caitlin, in season 3. I know. She said it. I know. I don't know if we're going to do spoilers, but and that's where we ended season 2. So season 3, it's good. It was I like a good slow burn right now. Like I don't want to prolong it too long, but I don't want to like binge it super fast. Okay. We had a year until the next season comes out. Oh my gosh.
So I don't want to wait another year.
So make it last.
Make it last.
Draw it out.
Tell us who your favorite character is in the comments. And have you binged watched the entire season 3 already?
Just
yes
own
or no? Just own it. It's okay. It's a safe place.
It is. Last thing that I want to talk about today.
Okay.
We talked about Instagram on the front end.
Yes.
Now we're going to talk about TikTok.
Okay, I can get behind that.
They announced,
Guys, I
this
don't
is
watch
for
Reels.
you, Anissa.
I don't watch Reels, I watch TikTok.
They announced that they are instituting a 60-minute limit per day for all viewers under the age of 18.
That makes sense, Caitlin, but I know a lot of adults that probably need that, honestly.
Let me just go in here and change my age.
Everyone.
Yeah.
But no, that's super interesting. So, like, how are they going to set that up? Is it like...
Yeah, I know that it is like similar to like time limits that we already have built into our phone, where you can set a like password that you or a parent or whatever has to type in to allow you to continue watching past that 60 minutes. So all that being said, I'm sure that like in the hands of some people, it'll be a great tool
for sure
to help them, again, like kind of keep those boundaries that we were talking about in the beginning. But like at the same time, I can see the temptation to just like, I'll come up with my own password and just go ahead and as soon as I see that limit, just type in my password and keep going.
For sure.
It's pretty radical.
Yeah.
Like I get it. It's pretty radical because we kind of live in a culture where it's just like, okay, like I'm running up against this thing where I'm like, I feel like maybe I should make a change.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to just go, whoop.
Right.
Just like skirt right around it.
Yeah.
And I think that the beautiful thing about us as followers of Jesus is that when we come up against that moment where it's like, this feels really hard and this feels pretty scary because I've attached a lot of myself to this thing, that we don't have to just rely on ourselves.
For sure.
And the same spirit that raised Jesus from the dead is living inside of you. And you think you can't beat a TikTok addiction?
You can.
You can.
You can. We're telling you right now.
The Spirit of God is in you.
Yeah.
You can do it. And so we are not alone. We have the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
And we have the community of believers. We have the church.
Yeah.
And so there are people who, when you get to that moment of like, all right, I hit my limit. All right, I saw this content. All right, I don't want to watch this anymore.
Yeah.
There are people who are going to love you through that moment and not judge you for that moment.
Absolutely, and that's, I think, the most beautiful part about the whole entire thing.
So good.
Yeah.
So find those people in your life when you're thinking about what kind of content you want to engage with and how long you want to engage with it. I think we start with what our pastor has been talking about and we decide who we want to become.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so question number 1 that I want you guys to think through is, who do you want to become?
Yeah.
Because what we know is that the content we consume shapes the people that we become.
Yeah.
So decide who you want to become. And then based on that, then you can figure out like what kind of content you want to consume and how long. You can set up for yourself what you want that to look like.
Yeah.
My content consumption habits will be boom, 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 boom.
Absolutely.
So who do you want to become? What content do you want to consume to become that kind of person?
And what people are you bringing along?
Come on.
What people are you bringing along in this journey? Because we know that it's better together and we can't do this alone. Find your people.
Find your people. Make a plan. We believe in you guys.
Yeah.
And we're in it with you. Well, guys, it's been a blast chatting with you today. Go ahead and process through those questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Process through Anissa's question about Outer Banks.
Yeah,
Tell us who the best character is. And yeah, we can't wait to see you back here next week for more Culture Makers.
See ya.